You guys really think that Aaron Pico is going to be able to survive at 145 pounds in the UFC? Seriously, this weekend, Aaron Pico is fighting Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy is stepping in for Movsar Evloev. Movsar Evloev was supposed to be fighting Aaron Pico, but things happened. Movsar pulled out. Lerone Murphy stepped in on short notice. Now, Aaron Pico is a signee from Bellator. We have had multiple signees from Bellator recently. We've had Patchy Mix, Patricio Pitbull, and now Aaron Pico. MVP is also came from Bellator, but we're going to exclude him for this little discussion. Now, out of the two people that I've mentioned, Patchy Mix and Patricio Pitbull, these dudes in their debut have looked absolutely trash. Now, Patricio Pitbull did look a little bit more competitive than Patchy Mix did. Patchy Mix just sat there and looked flat-footed at Mario Batista for 15 minutes. That's what's going on here. Now, Aaron Pico has been spotted training, conditioning with Khamzat Chimaev, who is one piece of the main event this weekend. Aaron Pico's the co-main, Khamzat Chimaev is the main event. These dudes are training endurance together. Now, Chael Sonnen was allowed to go film, well not film, just allowed to go sit and watch Khamzat Chimaev and Aaron Pico training for this weekend for UFC 319, and he went on the Good Guy Bad Guy show with DC, and he literally said that they're not really training for MMA. These dudes are training cardio. Everybody in the UFC seems to have figured out that Merab has the meta. Abusing your cardio is the meta. Now, Khamzat Chimaev needs to figure this out because this dude has cardio problems. He has cardiovascular issues besides the immunity disorder and things like that. Khamzat has a bunch of issues, but we're not talking about him. Now, Aaron Pico, in all of his Bellator fights, has looked like an absolute savage. He's on a pretty nasty win streak, a 3-fight win streak. He's dropped a fight against Jeremy Kennedy, but the only reason he lost that fight against Jeremy Kennedy was because of his shoulder injury that he sustained. Alright? This dude, Aaron Pico, has been on an absolute tear through Bellator and PFL. I get his last fight was from PFL. I guess he's not considered a full Bellator signee if you had one fight in the PFL, but I consider Aaron Pico a Bellator signee. Alright, now, he's going to be fighting Lerone Murphy. Lerone Murphy is just coming off of a boring decision against Josh Emmett. I did pick Josh Emmett to starch Lerone Murphy, and that's not what happened. We saw a basic... Lerone Murphy is basically Leon Edwards before 145 pounds. Literally. He wants to stand there. He wants to not really engage and just pick you apart from outside and counter-strike with you. That's all Lerone Murphy wants to do. Now, Aaron Pico has some solid wrestling credentials. Alright? His striking's alright, but if you just compare the names that Aaron Pico has fought to the names that Lerone Murphy has fought, it's night and day. Lerone Murphy's last three is Edson Barboza, Danny Gay, and Josh Emmett. All well-known household names. Aaron Pico's last three are Henry Corrales, who I sort of kind of know, but only because, I have a MMA YouTube channel. Pedro Carlovado, who I have no idea who he is, and James Gonzalez. I know who Jeremy Kennedy is, but James Gonzalez, I don't know these last three dudes. All of these guys coming from other organizations have the issue of the lights being too bright for them. The lights are too bright for them. The fans are too loud. Maybe the new signees should be forced to fight in the Apex for their first fight. So they're not that concerned with the media. They're not that concerned with the fans. And, I have to walk past how many security guards? The commission sits where? Where are the photographers now? This is my first time in this area. Where are the photographers? Things like that. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly believe Aaron Pico is going to be able to get a win here, boys. Lerone Murphy is a decision merchant. He likes to stay on the outside. He's not the type to walk forward and meet you in the middle of the octagon. He's going to pick you apart with some leg kicks and try to basically just squab you up. His wrestling is decent, but I do personally believe, from watching footage, that Aaron Pico has the edge in the wrestling. He does. But it is hard to say that when you just compare the level of competition that these dudes have faced. Lerone Murphy has honestly faced the way harder opponents, if you even just look at his last three. So I'm a little excited to see where Aaron Pico is going to come out from. He's training with Khamzat Chimaev. There's a bunch of clips going on of these dudes on bikes, training literally only cardio, by the way. This is not the cardio championship. This is the ultimate fight. You're supposed to fight. Now, cardio does help a lot. Cardio is the one thing that makes a man into a little bitch, essentially. You are exhausted, you are a bitch. That's what it is. When you are exhausted, you don't want to fight back. You just want to lay there and rest and recover. So I get where they're coming from here. I get where Aaron Pico's coming from. I get where Khamzat's coming from for attacking their training camp this way. But I don't think that Aaron Pico should have been paired up with Khamzat Chimaev. We're going to be able to see. Now, for the main event, I am picking Dricus du Plessis over Khamzat Chimaev. So if we see Aaron Pico beat Lerone Murphy, it might be a bad omen for this main event. So I'm regretting a little bit saying that I think Aaron Pico's going to win. But honestly, if you just look at the flat out stats, boys, Lerone Murphy is 16-0, undefeated, facing absolute savages ever since he stepped foot inside of the UFC since 2019. All right, has fought previous world title holders in Edson Barboza. Okay, yes, he is dude is straight up a decision merchant. Last time he got a finish was in 2021, and Aaron Pico does finish things, but the competition that Aaron Pico is fighting is not top tier. It's not top caliber. The UFC has been pushing Aaron Pico, though, okay? They've been sitting him at press conferences. They had him on the front page of the UFC when they signed him. So they have some faith in him. They sure as hell had a lot of faith in him to put him up against Mozavar, the number one contender, at 145 pounds. All right? But Lerone Murphy can go out there and just show everybody what it is. These Bellator guys, these PFL guys are not ready for the level of competition that's in the UFC. All right? And they could shut that down, and we could just have a Patricio Pitbull versus Aaron Pico fight. Fuck it if they're in different weight classes. Let all these Bellator and PFL guys fight each other. Let them figure it out. Oh, no, they're not in different weight classes. They're both at 145. Tell them to figure it out. If Aaron Pico loses this fight, shove Patricio Pitbull with Aaron Pico. I want to see who's the better signee at 145 pounds, honestly. But I really wouldn't be surprised if we just see Lerone Murphy stay back and pick Aaron Pico apart for 15 minutes. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised either if we see Aaron Pico blast fucking Lerone Murphy with a double leg and take him down and ground and pound him. Round one finish. He does look extremely aggressive from the footage I watched of Aaron Pico, but the people he's fighting are literally like heavy bags. Like, this is not what's going to happen when you step foot in the octagon. You know what I'm saying? But only time will tell. I do think that him training with Khamzat is kind of like a shit decision, but we'll see. I don't think Aaron Pico's ever really had a cardio issue. I think he's just doing this just so he could fucking spam takedowns against Lerone Murphy. He thought he was going to be able to just grapple fest it out with Mozavar Lovev, but now he's like, oh, wait a minute. I'm fighting a Leon Edwards copycat. I might actually just need to spam double legs here and not worry about it. We saw what Bilal did to Leon Edwards, so that might be also a bad omen here, all right? But, Aaron, I don't think you're here to take over the UFC. I honestly would not be surprised if you beat Lerone Murphy. You know what I mean? Lerone is, shout out to him, he's a prospect, but he is definitely not the most exciting fighter to watch. Absolutely not, but he is methodical, he is technical, and this is just going to be a great fight. I'm honestly really excited to watch this and see where it all plays out. But if Aaron Pico loses, give Aaron Pico Patricio Pitbull. I need to see who is the better signee out of both of these dudes. See, I'm being so serious. What? Isn't that the best idea, though? And honestly, the loser should just go to Dirty Boxing or Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. That's it, all right? We're done. We're done with the losers, all right? Anyways, boys, UFC 319 is this weekend. I couldn't be more ecstatic, all right? We're going to be posting a lot of content this week. This is the biggest card until October, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. All right, boys? I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hope you guys have a good one. Lock those DDP bets in. That money line is going to keep going down. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. Anyways, boys, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me so much. I want to get to 300 subscribers. We're stuck at 292. I'll see you guys later. So.